Hello everyone, namaste. A very warm good evening to all. So today on 12th May 2024, we are organizing lecture 8 of Dharohar Itihasa Saptaha 4. Today's our resource person is Dr. Rajiv Nigam, former chief scientist and head geological oceanography and marine archaeology division, National Institute of Oceanography, Goa. Sir is going to talk on the topic geological solutions to a us. And I also
Nidhi,
welcome
your
our.
screen has frozen.
Am I audible?
No.
Yes, please continue.
Okay. So today on 12th May 2024, we have a resource person as Rajiv Nigam sir. So I warmly welcome Dr. Rajiv Nigam sir to the platform of the history enthusiasts. And I also welcome our honorary president, Dr. Nandan Shastri ji, and founder president of the history enthusiast, Ms. Manali Momaya, and of course all the audience, core committee members, advisory members to the session. Please stay active throughout the lecture. Now I request Ms. Manali Momaya to introduce our resource person, Dr. Rajiv Nigam.
Thank you, Nidhi, for the warm welcome. Um, I take this privilege to introduce our resource person, whom I had the very good fortune of meeting only last month. Dr. Rajiv Nigam has received his MSc from Lucknow University, an MPhil PhD and DSc degrees in geology from the Aligarh Muslim University. He also got his diploma in marine micropaleontology from Oslo University, Norway. Dr. Nigam has made significant contributions in the field of marine geology with special reference to application of foraminifera in studying past monsoons, sea level fluctuations, past tsunamis, paleofisheries, pollution monitoring, and so on. He has also worked extensively for application of foraminifera in the field of marine archaeology, especially at Lothal, submerged Dwarka, Neolithic human settlements in Gulf of Cambay, Ramsetu, Mahabalipuram, the oldest record of tsunami protection measures in India at Dholavira, and so on. These findings extensively were covered in media. Dr. Nigam is recipient of several awards like CSIR Young Scientist Award, Acharya Chanakya Award, National Mineral Awards by Ministry of Coal and Mines, M.R. Sahani Lecture Award and Bhalla Gold Medal by Paleontological Society of India, Krishnan Gold Medal and H.N. Siddiqui Lecture Award by Indian Geophysical Union and Ministry of Earth Sciences First Prize for Book on Monsoon, etc. Dr. Nigam was also invited as Senior International Visiting Scientist twice by the Chinese Academy of Sciences, Geological Survey of Iran, and the Dhaka University to train their scientists in marine sciences, especially micropaleontology. He is also the first Indian to receive 50th J.A. Cushman Award for excellence in foraminiferal uh, research, which was presented at Geological Society of America's meeting in Denver, USA, in the year 2022. Dr. Nigam has successfully guided 15 students for PhD, published more than 160 papers in SCI journals, delivered several invited talks at various universities, research institutes, and IITs, and provided consultancy to various industries. Dr. Nigam has worked as scientist since 1978 at the National Institute of Oceanography, Goa, and superannuated as the head of Geology Division and the Marine Archaeology Unit of the same institution. Later, he also served as emeritus scientist. Sir, it is honor to have you on our platform today, and we can't wait to listen to your talk. So, I now request Dr. Rajiv Nigam, sir, to begin his today's lecture.
Thank you, Manali, for such an elaborate introduction. Thank you, Nidhi and Ranjanji, for giving me an opportunity to share my experience of using geology and paleontology uh, with the archaeology. Let me go with the full screen so that I can be more comfortable. Okay, it's fine. See, the platform is of the history enthusiast, and most of the lecture in the series I was seeing is uh, on the archaeology. So let us first discuss what is the relationship between archaeology and the history. The best, actually, the dividing line is very blurred, very thin line, you can say. The written record of the human development, the civilization development, normally termed as a history. And archaeology is beyond the written history. So we can say that the archaeology is ably assisting the history by extending the timeline to see that how the human in any area has managed to live. One more question which is very frequently asked to the students and teachers and anyone who is interested in either history or archaeology, or people like me who work on the paleoclimate, reconstructing the past climate. You say when the entire world is looking uh, ahead and looking for just you are the people who is talking about past. So what is the benefit of looking into the past when the entire world is looking ahead? I tried to answer this question. Can you see the full screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, because I'm seeing the half screen, that's why I was asking. Okay, now it is fine. So the very question comes, why to study the marine archaeology? Whether it is academic, whether it is cultural heritage or economics or all three. I feel it's all three. Of course, academic interest is always there and it will be there. Cultural heritage, we must know from where we came, how our civilization evolved, and all those people who are very proud of cultural heritage only work hard to preserve it, propagate it, and work for the mankind's development. But history or archaeology is not only of academic and cultural interest, it's the hard economics also. I will tell you how it is. Let us see first the cultural heritage, because it is the cultural heritage which leads to the hard economics behind it, behind this study. How many of us know the extent of the Indian civilization and cultural heritage beyond the present political boundaries of the India? The biggest religious structure, I'm not talking about only the temple, but the religious structure is Angkor Wat in Cambodia built by Raja Surava. Similarly, the Lebanon's Baalbek temple, which was built by the Indian business people who have gone there. Very few. Of course, now the media coverage is more, so at least people started knowing. I think you will agree with me. This is Rani Chiva or Queen's Stepwell in Gujarat. But before it came on the 100 rupees note, how many of us were knowing about it? Because unless we know about our cultural heritage, how we can tell others to come and visit us? So tourism is becoming a big game now. It's a big economic source for any country. There are many countries in the world who are surviving solely on the tourism. But in India, what is the situation? our earning through tourism is very meager. I have just picked up some data, and I think second slide will explain much better it. See, if you see the revenue generated through the monuments, which is actually our cultural heritage. And you will see the maximum earners are the monuments all around Delhi and Agra. Taj Mahal, Agra Fort, Qutub Minar complex, Humayun's Tomb, Red Fort, and Fatehpur Sikri complex. Maximum earning, you can see here, this side is the earning. And just go down. Where is Gujarat here? So, means, and all these buildings are about, say, 400, 500-year old, except Qutub Minar, which goes to 700, 800 years something. Is India's tourism is only the Mughal period tourism? Or we have something more to tell to our world? We can tell the entire world we have better than this. How many of us know that we have the world's oldest dockyard, which is about 4,500 year old? We have the world's oldest evidence of tsunami protections. Okay. Uh, This is in addition to the beautiful forts and the temples in India and rest of the India other than the Mughal state. I am not against the Mughal time uh, monuments, but you can see that that is not the entire India. So we can tell the foreigners, we can tell our people only first we know about it. How much we know about cultural heritage, let us see. I will discuss only where the sea has played a role, not the interculture. So in the giving a budget lecture in Parliament, Nirmala Sitharamanji said that Indian government is going to give a lot of importance to three sites which is associated with Indian civilization. One is at Rakhigali, one is at Dholavira, and another is Lothal. Prime Minister also has said on October 22 in 2022 that we will bring back the glory of Dholavira and Lothal. Now, luckily, these two sites, the Dholavira and Lothal, one Lothal is somewhere here and Dholavira is here. Harappa is here, Mohenjo-daro is here, and Rakhigali is here. So you can see in Indian region where the sites belongs. Now these two sites, Dholavira and Lothal, are very close to us and comes under our jurisdiction, being a marine archaeologist, because he has played a dominant role in shaping the destiny of these two ancient Indian coastal towns. How it is. See, these two, as I told you, it comes under the heading of marine archaeology. So let us see how the marine archaeology started in India. Hats off to Dr. S.R. Rao, who started this branch in India. Dr. S.R. Rao was in the Archaeological Survey of India, and after his retirement, he came to NIO and expressed the desire that he wants to study the marine archaeology in India. And thanks to the scientific leadership in NIO, Dr. Qasim, Dr. Siddiqui, B.N. Desai, Desar, these people actually allowed a retired scientist from another organization to come to NIO. And he started it with just 20,000 rupees grant from the INSA. He was given a place in NIO, and all of us were asked to help him, to collaborate with him and see what he wants to do. And that's what we started coming one after other in contact with Dr. S.R. Rao. And then an entire branch in NIO flourished. It started in 81 and in 1991, and a full-fledged unit has been established at the National Institute of Oceanography. This is our team which was working now at the sea. It's a survey board for marine archaeology. So when I was introduced, I was told that I am a student of geology. So the very first question comes, why and how I am in marine archaeology? So the unique contribution of the marine sediment has been for deciphering the changes in oceanographic condition due to climatic variation in the past. So we actually reconstruct the past based on the marine sediments. And this branch is called the Paleoclimate. Mostly we use the geophysical instruments like here or the fossils, which is depicted here, to reconstruct the past. Archaeology also may be subtly defined as the systematic study of antiquities as a means to reconstruct the past. Since the common aim of these two branches is same, to illuminate the past, reconstruct the past, so obviously they can support each other. And with this topic, we both started coming together, helping each other. Archaeologists uses like stones, the wells, some of the monuments, coins, these potteries. These are their tools. Our tools are like echo sounder, side scan, sparker, boomer. There are so many geophysical equipment through which you can see what lies at the bottom of the sea, through the records, as well as when we collect the samples, we analyze for their microfossil, which are the excellent indicator of past climate. So first I will tell you, based on the marine sediment, how you can reconstruct the past. And then this knowledge gain of the past, how it is helpful in solving some of the mysteries of the marine archaeology. The idea is, if the archaeologists start appreciating the geological tools also, it can help them in solving some of the problem, because interdisciplinary approach also is the best approach to solve the problem in any field of the science. So let us see how we collect the sample. Okay, I think this is a animated slide, but which is not coming here. Anyway, this is the sea, this is the land. Sediment comes to the sea through ways, two ways. One is the river brings the sediment, and the air also brings the sediment into the sea. Along with this sediment, there are many of the microorganisms. After their death, their hard test. Along with these sediments come to the bottom of the sea, where they start getting deposited layer by layer, year by year. Okay, you can take your ship, collect this core sample, start studying these layers. You can date them with any dating method, lead 210 dating, seafoam dating, or any other dating method. And the environment of past being told by these microfossils. So you can read. So this serve actually the pages of the history, how the climate has changed and how it has affected finally the mankind in this catchment areas. So this is the way we collect the samples. Now with this sample, how we start revealing the past? The organisms which we use to find out the changes in the past is called the foraminifera. They are single cell organisms less than a millimeter in size, highly sensitive to the slightest climate change. There are two types of foraminifera. One, which live in the water column. You can see here. So they tell, when they live, they incorporate the signature of the climate in form of the composition of this test, which is mostly the calcium carbonate. And the one at benthic, which live at the bottom of the sea. After their death, both get deposited at the bottom of the sea. And just now I told you how they are, uh, how they can be used to reconstruct the past. These organisms are exclusively marine organisms. This is a very important point. Please remember it. You don't get it into the fresh water. At the most, you will get it only in the brackish water, like estuaries or deltas or that places. They are highly susceptible to the climate change, and there are many. So, slight change in the climate change in the assemblage. There are about 40,000 species of this foraminifera out there. I'm not going to tell you all the names, but let us know only broadly what they can do. And because of their climate, you can see some of these plates we have put more than 2,000 species we have already identified from the Indian water. These are the ones which will live in the water column, and these are the ones which will live at the bottom of the sea, and they're beautifully ornamented. And their designing means in less than a millimeter size, God has created the beautiful ornamentation. And this design now is being commercially exploited. This is a park. These three are the parks in China where this to the size in granite, 1 meter, 2 meter diameter is this made out, and a foraminifera park has been developed. Number of jewelry, number of electronic or electrical items designing. Even the children's lollipop has been designed based on the foraminifera. But this is a separate lecture. Today only I will talk about other applications. And because of their applied aspects, there are a number of applications. Already I told you about paleoclimate. They can be used for sediment transport. This is an engineering application about the stability of any structure into the sea. Uh, then this is an age-old application of microfossils in petroleum exploration. We can also reconstruct the monsoon variation. How monsoon rainfall varied in last few thousand years, we can find out based on this one. Actually, this was the work for which I was given my first award, the CSIR Young Scientist, about the reconstructing the past monsoon and finding out the cyclicity into it. How fisheries are getting affected because of global warming can be studied through this commercial application already I told you. They can also helpful to find out the past tsunami records. We are going to talk in later part of the lecture on this. Today, mainly we are going to use this sea level changes. And the sea level changes and monsoon together, we are going to use this microfossils. Today's lecture is in marine archaeology. They are also equally applicable into the pollution monitoring in the coastal areas. This is one of the industrial application of this microfossils, and we are giving a lot of consultancy to industries in the coastal areas. And it's my students who have done on all these branches, and 5 of them has won the Young Scientist Award. So today, let us see how it works into the marine archaeology. The history of marine archaeology in India started with Lothal. I hope that many of you by now knowing the Lothal. In India, the systematic study of archaeology started with Mohenjo-daro and Harappa. But after partition, we lost both the sites to Pakistan. And after that, there was efforts by Indian archaeologists to study the ancient archaeological site within the present Indian territory. One such place was the Lothal. Dr. S.R. who is credited to start studying the submerged Dwarika, was the first to excavate Lothal in 1954 and found a Harappan civilization. It is few kilometers away from the sea, few meters above the present sea level. And when this See, Mohenjo-daro in Sindhi language is mound of dead, but in I think you all are from, many of you are from Gujarat, you know that in Gujarati language, Lothal meaning also is mound of dead. I don't know how archaeologists get this idea where to excavate, because to us it looks all same. So when he excavated Lothal, it became a big news. We got a lot of things of public interest. You can see ancient belt was found there. Lot of Harappan seals were recovered. Warehouse and twin burial. Yesterday, Dr. Bisht also showed this slide. This is the design of Lothal, and this is the city. And but here, to me, which is most important part is this: a tank-like body, a big tank-like body. And soon after this discovery, the arguments and the controversy started about the possible use of this tank-like body. How how the arguments and these arguments, some of them were telling it is the dockyard, it's about 4,500 year old, and the others say no, it was the irrigation tank. And this controversy was on for many years. This figure you might have seen yesterday in Dr. Bish's presentation. It's a picturesque presentation of the Lothal. This is the tank-like body. And this controversy was on till 1988. There are a number of seminars, books, right, articles, tidal dockyard or freshwater irrigation tank. This controversy was on because archaeologists were arguing with the archaeologists. Had then geologists know about this problem, they could have solved long back. First time I was taken to this site. I think it was in '84. A conference was organized at Physical Research Laboratory, Ahmedabad, by D.P. Agarwal that time. They took us to the site, seeing to the Lothal. And I was looking around, and then I heard a discussion behind me. It doesn't look like a dockyard. Then somebody else says that, don't tell, otherwise Rao will kill you. So I just turned around because by the time Dr. Asarao was with us in NIO, and then they told about Dr. Rao excavated, he believed this is a dockyard, but others thinks that it is not. How they were arguing. And then I thought that why they are arguing for such a long time. This is a very, how they are arguing for, let us see. We got few stones when the excavation was there. One, say, Dr. Rao, Wheeler, they all were opinion these are the stones which is used as an anchor stone. And since we are getting anchor, it means boat used to come, and therefore it is a dockyard. See here, this is an anchor. You can put a wooden log into this holes and use it to dock your boat. A same stone has been used as a counterweight to lift the water for irrigation. So let's say that stone is same, but they interpreted. It started with Professor Sankalia, Leshnik, Fair Service, all British, Indian, everybody, almost archaeologists of the day, all of them joined this controversy. You can see even now, this counterweight is used to lift the water for irrigation. So dockyard versus irrigation tank. How to solve this problem? It's very easy. So what I did, immediately I have gone down, collected few samples, brought to my lab, and asked one of our assistants to process this sample. And to my utter surprise, she came up and said, sir, we are getting foraminifera into it. I said, who knows, there may be a contamination in our sample. Because in our lab, everywhere the samples are there, which is working on foraminifera. So take a new set of all the instruments and reprocess the sample. We reprocessed the sample and we got, you can see here, we collected the samples from here and we got a well-preserved foraminiferal population. Friends, if you remember, in the beginning of lecture, when I was introducing these microfossils, The geologists call it Foraminifera, and I told you it is exclusively marine organisms. So we got the exclusively marine organisms into this dockyard. So this has tilted the argument in favor of the dockyard theory, because nobody irrigate the land with the saline water, and it was filled with the saline water. So this is all, and this was paper was presented into the first Marine Archaeological Conference, which was organized at Jamnagar, Gujarat. And in this proceeding, you can see this paper. Of course, this has tilted the argument in favor of dockyard theory, but few questions remain to be answered. I told you, Lothal, there is no sea now. It is a couple of kilometers away from the present sea and is above the present sea level. This is possible only if sea level was higher and it was connected to the sea. But so it means the knowledge of sea level fluctuation is important, and unless we know that one, we cannot tell with the confidence whether it was a dockyard or not. But here we would like to say again that this is a 4,000, as archaeologists claim, this is a 4,500-year-old structure, which is dockyard, and this is the world's oldest dockyard, which is still in a very good shape. And now the government of India decided to erect a good museum, National Maritime History Museum there, and it's being constructed. I think soon it will be inaugurated. And this area was selected because it was a dockyard, and some Indian marine archaeology started from this area. But now I would like to answer the remaining part of the history. Where was the sea level? Unless do that, nobody will accept this claim. So what we did, what we know about sea level fluctuations. See, I remember when I was a kid, I was told in my school days that samudra apni maryada nahi todta. This is a widely believed by all Indians, including our Prime Minister. See, when he took the Chinese Prime Minister to Mahabalipuram that night, probably he wrote a poem, and see these two lines. तुम कभी भी ना अपनी सीमाएं नांगे, sorry, I don't know how to. Anyway, you if you can see, you will see that he also says that
Sir, do you need any help?
no, this slides at the bottom part I was not able to see. Anyway, prime हाँ हर पल बड़प्पन का बोझ दिलाते तुम कभी ना अपनी सीमाएं लांघे. This was the no, it is not true. Sea has always crossed its boundaries. Sometime it was higher than today, and sometime it was lower than today. How we are able to say that one? See, so we started studying the sea level fluctuation as a part of our global warming, the climate change, global climate change program. As you all may be aware that this is the India, this is the globe, this is the world, and this is a protective umbrella of greenhouse gases. Now, what happened? We started pumping more greenhouse gases into this atmosphere, and because of that, the climate is likely to warm. And if it is so, will be accelerated rise in the sea level, changes in monsoon pattern, increase in the intensity and frequency of the storms and the fisheries. But my question is, if we are the only people as a man responsible now for the global warming, because of the industrial revolution, more carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases like CFST, methane are going to the atmosphere, then more than 200 years back, climate should not have changed. Okay? But it's not true. Climate has always changed. Then, so when we were not there, it means there is a natural climatic variability. So what is that? Because if naturally climate sea level is going up, and because of our greenhouse gases, sea level is going to up, they can nullify. So it is necessary. Where are the evidences of climatic changes in the past? So we started this actually work for this program, which came very handy for marine archaeology. The evidence of sea level changes in the past available everywhere. It is in the religion, Gita, whether it's Quran or Bible, the story of Noah's Ark. He was building an ark in a desert area. He will not do it unless he is aware that there is going to be a rise in the sea level. As a geologist, we all know where the highest mountain of today, the Himalaya, stands. There was a time when there was sea and known as the Tethys Sea. You can see the magnitude of change. But for purpose of archaeology, we are interested in Holocene climatic fluctuation or sea level fluctuation. And this is built by many people. You can see sometime it was high. This is present sea level. Sometime it was higher than today, and sometime it was lower than today. So if you see the curve built by many people, all of them were foreigners. Now, we cannot apply the curve, even their curves are not same. They have a slight variation because this is called the relative sea level changes, which also include the new tectonic element. So if any movement of land also is up and down, it will look like a sea level is going up and down. So what we said, basically the paleo depth changes. So how to get an idea about, so every area has to develop its own sea level curve. That's what we did. How we did it? When sea level was higher than today, such evidences are available on land. We have to look on land. See, this is type of structure, the notches and this cave, it is in the Goa region. Now sea level is somewhere down here, but these were created when sea level was there. So this is evidence of higher sea stand in the past. But whatever the material eroded here, sea deposited it somewhere. And where it is deposited in form of a beach, this is an ancient beach. So you can actually date them because there is a carbonate in it. So when you date them, you get an idea when sea level was higher than today. Another method of is the shoreline movement. See, when the sea level is changing, the shoreline is going up or down. Okay, if sea level is going down, shoreline go towards the sea. And when it is going to be up, it goes towards the land and the area will be inundated. This we can do it with the sediment at the bottom of the sea about 60 to 90 meter. They show the fauna which is showing the shoreline indicator like barnacle folding. This is the name of the species. Forget about the name. This species tell it is an intertidal area and dating is done something around 10,000 years. So it means it shows that around 10,000 years sea level was lower than today. Another method is there. See, now this is actually an animated slide, but animation is not working in this program. See, if sea level is here, the shallow water indicator species will be here. If sea level started going up, they try to migrate and sometime finally they became extinct. So you know their depth, they are shallow water indicator. So if you plot that age versus depth, you can get an idea how sea level has fluctuated. So the sea level study in India started, some of the early workers were there, Professor S.S. Maid of Baroda, uh, Dr. Rajguru from Pune, Dr. R.R. Nair from Manau. But that time when they built the sea level curve, they were hardly having any 0.34 points. So what we did, we summarized all the published data and we generated a sea level curve. First time is published as a Hashmi and Nigam in 1995, and later we keep modifying it, updating it, and up to even now. Now, let us see, it's very interesting. Around 15,000 years back, sea level was lower than about 100 meter lower. Think of it, 15,000 years back, if you stand at any sea coast, about 100 away, 100 kilometers you have to walk to meet a beach where the sea is meeting the land. After that, sea level started going up It is between 30 to 40 meter, about 9.5 thousand year, then stable for some time, then around 7,000 year, it has crossed the present sea level, gone up, then again came down, then again gone up, then again came down. Now, this sea level curve came very handy to explain many of the archaeological findings, like Neolithic of settlement of Surat at 30 to 40 meter. I will discuss it in detail. Setu and Rameshwaram, Dholavira, Lothal, Dwarka, Mahabharat, onshore Pumpar, Bed Dwarka. But today we cannot discuss all, so we'll discuss few to give a glimpses that how a geological knowledge. See this sea level curve, to generate it, you need a geologist for that. Okay, now when sea level is available, you can go on explaining. So let us see where the Lothal stands. I told you the age of Lothal was 4,500 years before present, and see that sea level was higher than present. So this has proved that Lothal was connected to the sea, and when sea level has gone down, it became out of use and became an abandoned city. As an Indian, I feel very proud that the world's oldest dockyard is within my territory. And I think this is the place which should be told to all the Indians as well as to foreigners. Come to India, will show you even now that 4,500 years back, how our people are going to different countries for the sea trading. So this is confirming, and what uh, we have done in this paper was first time presented in 88 and presented in first proceeding. Later, Anirudh Khatkekar has done a remote sensing, and all the missing link that this channel, ancient channel, he published a paper in antiquity. So this is another supporting evidence came. So he also said yes, it was connected to the sea through the high tidal range, and the signature of that time is still present. What we told in 88 now is being supported even, which is published now a few years back, that sea level drop spurred the Lothal decline. This paper is by Archana Das and others, published uh, just I think 1 or 2 years before. So if you are confident about your studies and your tools, the support will come in due course. Okay, so nothing to worry, and one should not be shy of talking about his conclusions. If it comes wrong, let us we can reanalyze and see where we committed a mistake. I remember when I was doing this work, many people were telling me, no, 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 keep doing your geological work. Why in archaeology? Tomorrow somebody may prove you wrong. I said, if somebody prove me wrong, I will see where I committed mistakes in interpretation. Now you can see, once for all, we have established Lothal was a dockyard. This the oldest dockyard of the world is in my territory. Second, now I would like to talk about the Dholavira. You know, yesterday we had a beautiful talk by Dr. Biswab who talked about Dholavira. So I will talk something what who has not, which he has not discussed in his lecture. So I'm not going detail about location. Let us go. So this is a Lothal. This is a Dholavira. This figure was yesterday also shown. Beautifully preserved site, and this is world famous site. Now it is the 40th World Heritage Site, which is in India, and this was known for its excellent water conservation system. And this age is about 5 to 6 thousand years, and you can say this is also the time when sea level was higher than today. It means it was a port town. Now, Lothal was Dholavira was first noticed or discovered by Jagatpati Joshi ji in way back in 67-68. Bisab excavated from 89 to 90 and then 2004 to 5, and report came in 2015. Excellent work for which he was awarded the Padma Shri, a very coveted record. Very few of us can think of it. This is a slide which was shown yesterday. I was also asking him yesterday about the citadel wall, which is, you can say, we have seen this report and we have invited him to NIO for 2 lectures. And that time, first lecture time, we didn't have any idea. Second time, we have idea. And third time, again, we invited and presented in front of him only. See, this citadel has been protected by 18-meter thick wall, very thick wall. And the outer wall is about, I think, 5 meter thick or something. And this is the middle town, and this is the lower town, and these are the water reservoir. And this is the belly. And this is ceremonial ground. All you might have seen in yesterday's lecture. My question was, why such a huge thick wall has been built? I asked this question to Bishop in his very first lecture, second lecture, and third lecture. He said, Rajiv, this must be for the protection. I said, agreed. All Harappan towns have been fortified, but none of these towns have been protected by such a huge thick wall. So I asked, protection against whom? Against wild animals. All this bamboo fencing is good enough. Your enemies. See, the gunpowder has been discovered in 13th century only. After that also, whatever the walls were built, you can see nowhere this much thick wall. Even China wall is not that thick. Then why we have to build such a thick wall? So I have told you the three options: protection. And what was the ammunition of your enemy 5 or 6,000 years back? Bows, arrows, stones. For that, this much thick wall is not required. Then comes the natural calamities. Many people, because Mohenjo-daro and Harappa were discussed in view of the floods, so people try to invoke the same hypothesis here. So these two rivers are very minor rivers, Manhar and Mansar. They are seasonal rivers, very minor. Okay, and that's why this is a water starved area. That's why huge reservoirs. So whenever water is available, store it. So we propose a new hypothesis. One of my students, that Subodh Chaturvedi, we published a paper in Geomarine Letters. We were working for the Sangi cement, and we reconstructed the past climate in Kori Creek area. And we found about 8,000 years back the evidence of tsunami in this area. This is already a Makaran coast, which is a tsunami-prone area. So we say that probably this wall was built to protect themselves from the tsunami. Okay. And if it is so, we published this paper into the Current Science way back in 2016. Friends, 2011, Japan has built a thick wall to protect itself from some of the areas from the tsunami. But here, ancient Indians, or you can say Dholavirians, have built this wall 6,000 years back. This is the world's oldest evidence about paleotsunamis. Okay, whether they are still able to protect themselves from tsunami. Another evidence, you can see a tilted wall is one of the gate. Okay, Bishop also showed this tilted wall, and he invoked that some of the geologists confirm it is because of the earthquake. I will tell you the name also. I think Professor Baldia also of the same opinion. See, problem is when we interpret based on our expertise. So if earthquake is hitting a wall, it will collapse. But if tsunami is hitting a wall, it can tilt, because tsunami is hitting it horizontally and earthquake is hitting it vertically. So this is another evidence probably tsunami was active in this area. So we wanted to see what tsunami has done in this area, whether any other evidence. So we did a GPR survey. Now GPR is basically a civil engineering instruments which they use to find out the buried structures. They use it for the pipeline, cables, and all such things if something is buried, and to locate themselves. We started using them for the archaeology purpose. And I think this instrument is going to be very important in the future also. I think now it's being used in Banaras survey also, and Ayodhya also, somewhere, because you can see what is below the sea. Without excavating, you can get a preliminary idea is anything, something buried that you can find out. So we did this survey in Dholavira area. Is Dr. Lawson, who is the very well-known expert in the interpreting the GPR record, ground penetrating radar. Now, in this area, what we found about 2.5 to 3 meter thick sediment, which have no layers. See, if you see here, the any river side sediment, if you cut a section, you can see these layers. If it's a natural deposit. In sand dunes also, you can see here the layering structures. Marine sediments, you can see the layers. So anywhere if sediments are getting deposited, which is a natural way of deposition, then you get a layered sediment. But if you bring a sediment from somewhere in modern environment, if you see a truckload and dump it somewhere, it will not have any layer. So it means such a huge sediment which was brought here, it is a one-time deposit. Now this one-time deposit can come from where? There are two ways possible. One is by the floods or other is by the tsunami. Okay, so we wanted to test. So we, with the permission from the Archaeological Survey of India, we had dug a trench in this portion. You can see here, this is Professor Lawson who was doing a survey, and this is Dr. Rupal Dubey, my PhD student. Now she completed, she got a Young Scientist Award also. Uh, out of my 5 students who got Young Scientist Award, 2 of them are girls. So we collected the sediments, and when we analyzed in our lab, we got this. Friends, if this sediment is brought by the river floods, they will not have this instrument, this organisms fossils here. But if it is brought by the tsunami, it will bring the sediment. So this has decided once for all, the outer city wall could not prevent it from tsunami, and so tsunami has destroyed that wall, and it shows the presence. The tsunami was is still active even after the construction. But we don't know even now that whether tsunami has crossed the citadel wall and affected inside that citadel, because we could not do survey. Those who are listening this lecture, if they want to take up this work, they are most welcome. Definitely, middle town and lower town were badly affected by tsunami. And this is a lesson for social science also. If a common man is not able to survive, the VIP areas in protected citadel will also not survive. The tsunami could be one of the reasons. This is a line of action which needs to be pursued in the coming days. This GPR we have also used to find out in Mahabalipuram area, but that is not today. The third topic is a big controversy about the Ramsetu. Actually, this controversy came into the very prominence when the Setu Samudram project came. See, friends, then if you are going from Arabian Sea side to Bay of Bengal side towards East Coast, from West Coast to East Coast, your ship has to take a full round of Sri Lanka because the depth between these two is very, very shallow. So, as the entrepreneur, they thought if we can dredge this area, break it, this, so big ship also can pass. But this project has created a big controversy because a very large population in this country believe that this is an area of a very religious importance, which is known as the Ram Setu or Adam's Bridge. Rama has built this bridge because his army has to cross over to Sri Lanka. I remember when this controversy was on, and that time, then government gave an affidavit that the Ram was a Kalpanik and there cannot be any Ram Setu such. I am not going into that controversy. But that time, even I used to get a call. What is your opinion on this? I said, you tell me when was the Rama's time, the Lord Ram's time, and I will tell you about my opinion. And normally journalists who was approaching was not able to tell very confidence. So I was also not joining it. But it so happened there was a very good conference in Delhi, which was inaugurated by Abdul Kalam ji. And there a paper was presented by Saroj Bala and Kulbhushan Mishra. And this was the work of Pushkar Bhatnagar, whose name also been used into the movie on, I think, Ram Setu. See, what they have done, they have collected the evidence of star positions from Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana and other Ramayans, and fed this position into planetarium software. Okay, now, this combination of stars are repeated only after a very, very long time. So, when this star positions there, they came with the idea that it was around 7,100 years was the time. Now we know that. If this is the time, yes, we come into the picture. You see here, this is the Bay of Bengal curve, me and Lawson published. This is me and Dr. Hashmi is published. See, around 7,000 years, sea level was about 2 to 3 meters lower than present. Okay, and now if you see the present depth at this point is about 10 feet, roughly 3 meters. So it means the time of Rama, India and Sri Lanka was almost connected with a very, very shallow sea. Okay, and by maybe some ditches in between. Okay, so like something like an island, and in between this ditches you can fill it by this putting stones, trees, dust, whatnot, and you can make a causeway so we can say yes, we have the evidence at the time of Rama. There were efforts to join India and Sri Lanka by creating a bund. As these days also, when monsoon is less, many times villagers use by putting the stone, they cross over the river. But during when it was river level is high, they can't do it. Same thing is here. Since sea level was in such a position, Nal and Neils probably were knowing how to create a bund. So Ram Setu or Ramayana is not an imagination. It's not a fig of imagination. It's not a mythology. I can say it is a hard history. Okay? And this is another evidence the geologists are supporting the archaeologists and the historians that this great story of Lord Rama or Krishna are not the imagination. It is the hard part of archaeology and history. Now, I will take two more things, and this actually came on a couple of times, covered on the ZTV and Hashtag TV and many of the YouTube channels. This was long back. You can say Saroj Balaji is here. Rubika Liaquat was interviewing us, and here was me. Now, another important discovery which became very controversial. I will take another 5 to 10 minutes to finish off, where my time is getting up. Uh, something around 2000 year, National Institute of Ocean Technology was doing a survey in Gulf of Khambhat area. And as a chance discovery, they found some structures which was giving an idea that there was an ancient city, signature of a city. This was at 30 to 40-meter water depth. Okay, and it is the material dated was about 7,500 year BC, means roughly 9.5 thousand year back. Murli Manohar Joshi ji was the Science and Technology and Ministry of Art Science Ocean Development Minister, and Dr. Harsh Gupta was the secretary that time. They called a press conference on that because it was a big discovery. Because never before at this depth and this time any city was there. And India today brought out a special issue, the world's oldest city. Okay. But in science, actually, nothing goes without controversy. So, uh, within no time, Outlook experts brought out another issue. They said it is all hoax. The reason was how to explain a city at 30 to 40 meter water depth at this given time. That time, the explanation which was offered, it was say because of the, okay, say the earthquake, because those were involved, they were the geophysics people, and people were. It was not going well with the people that. I'm not going into the archaeological artifacts. I'm talking about the depth and time, and whether it was possible to have a civilization at this given time and place or not. I leave that interpretation of artifacts to the archaeology, hardcore archaeologist. See, so uh, if you see here on the sea level curve, 9.5 thousand year back, if you put, you can see you are going to the exactly between 30 to 40 meter water depth. It means sea level, which is here right now, that time it was here. Beach was here. You can see was meeting the land at this given time. Sea level was very going very slow, and therefore it was possible to have a settlement here. So the archaeologists call it Neolithic settlement. So one should not be surprised to have the evidence of an ancient city at this given place at a given time. If someone is still looking for another evidence, at that time could be here. Okay, this is also when sea level rise was arrested, and for quite a long time, sea was stable at this year. So the sea level studies, I remember this sea level work, and moreover, this came into 2000, and this point and this part of the sea level we published in 1995. So nobody can say we generated a curve to suit the minister's finding or the finding of the world sea level curve. This point was published much before this finding came, and it is explaining so well. I think this area also need to be discussed and excavated or studied further. Okay. Another point, which is another project which recently we have taken over, was a Gopika Patna. This was haunting me. Everything was happening in Gujarat, whether it is Dwarka, whether it is Dholavira, whether it's Lothal, or Neolithic settlement of Surat, everything. So in Goa, there is a place called Gopika Patna. Those who are aware of Goa, if you go from NIO side or university side to airport, old airport, Dabolim, you have to pass almost this area. The road is somewhere here. This about 2.5 kilometer long wall is there, which is made up of about, this is about 1.5 meter thick and made up of dressed stone. P.P. Shirodkar Saab has reported it about a 50-year back. And after that, many other people, history people, archaeological survey people, our NIO people, everybody has gone and reported there is a wall, there is a wall, and there is a wall. But about the purpose was not very clear. I remember Tahir Saab and Ambekar, we visited together this site first time. I asked them, they say maybe a protection wall for the land behind this. This is the seaside and this side is the land. I said, look, see the investment. And just about 2 to 3 square kilometer agriculture land is that much important for the huge investment? No. The investment doesn't serve the purpose, because even now the lot of land is available for agriculture. Why somebody has to build a wall? So some people say Kadamba was built it. Some people say Portuguese have built it. If Portuguese have built it, we have gone through all that gazetteers, nowhere it is mentioned. Some people say Dampo has built it. So big question was there, who built it, how to get the age of this. And there was no carbonate, we were not having any idea. So what we did, first we did a GPR survey. We also discovered this side is the sea. Actually, it is a reverse photo. You can see the step going down. We have excavated and we found. Now, this type of structure is there only when the jetty is there. Okay, she can come, the ships can come here and you can get down. So how to get a date? If it is a port, it's a remnant of a port, when? So what we did, we used a very innovative method. We took a JCB and started digging the going to the foundation of the wall. See, today, if you take a today sediment beach, it will show you zero age, and you build a wall above it. So after that, if after 100 years, if you see, you can say in 2024 this wall was built because sediment at the bottom is of that age. So we have gone and we got a carbonate and we got a something around 1000 to 1100-year old. This. Now, then it's a very beautiful thing. First thing, we discovered an ancient city, which is more than about 1000 years back, which is now buried into the sand. Okay, now Marmagua is the port. This Gopkapatnam is no more a port. Now, here, if you see sea level curve, it was not resolved. Last time we knew about 2000 years, it was higher than today. Okay, so after knowing this, I relooked into the Dr. Nilekhar's PhD thesis work. See, this was the time when sea level was lower. It was a Dwarka time. And here, actually, we interpreted this as a lower time, and this 2000 year, this was a higher. This we have not interpreted. Probably we will republish this paper again because this support that sea level was slightly lower than today, around 1100 years before present. This is a study further to be pursued. So this is, I'll tell you, Dholavira, we have to do a survey inside the citadel. We have to further study about archaeological artifact about Surat discovery. We have to further do the work on the Gopikapatnam area because on West Coast, this is a very big finding. A long back, we did a press conference and I talked about it, but now we have to go for much more hard. We already have a date, we already have a GPR survey, and now the story is almost complete. So we are going to crack it once again, publish a paper on it. We have also done the surveys on the east coast about Mahabalipuram. Uh, and today I have not talked about Samaj Dwarka because already I have talked many times. So in 1 hour time, everything, whatever we have done is not possible to show. So we have just shown you something. And the efforts which has been taken in recent time has started bringing the fruits. I started my lecture with international tourism. Now see here the international tourist arrival in world and India. Okay, now you see in India it was ranking somewhere around 51. Okay, 54 time in 2001, 2002, and now if you see in 2019 data, it is 25th. It means after we started taking efforts in life about 10 years back, but particularly marine archaeology also is contributed to it, that more international tourism. And when more tourists comes, it brings a lot of employment. So not only the cultural significance, even the hard economics is also improving if we work hard. Friends, during my study at this lectures, I also told about the climate change. If and I talked about the greenhouse effect and the risk of sea level rise. There are paper published and it's a report that city sea level rising 1.2 millimeter yearly. If we don't take enough precaution and if we allow the world warm up to a climate change, what will happen? This is a paper. Vinci underwater, Panjim next. Many of the coastal area will come under the risk and it should not happen. Then future archaeologists will start feasting on the present day flourishing cities along our coast. So it is our duty to go for less consumerism, less energy consumption, more simple living, so that we should leave this earth to our children, if not better, at least the way we received from our ancestors. So this was a small step to unravel the past in order to illuminate the future. Thank you. And this study was done because one who is proud of his or her rich cultural heritage always work hard to maintain its high level of civilization and tries to enhance the living standard of the fellow citizen. This was my sentence from which I started my today's lecture, and with the same sentence and same thought, I'm ending my lecture. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Mike, back to you.
Yes, sir.
If any questions are there, you are most welcome. I am done with it.
Yes, sir. First of all, I would like to congratulate you, sir, for this very intriguing and fascinating lecture, because there are so many mysteries on this earth. And when it comes to history and archaeology, there are a lot of mysteries that still need solutions. And your lecture has indeed helped us to understand a lot more things in a lot clearer way, in a very clear way. So there are a few questions, sir. I will start with this question
Sure.
by Sukhdev ji. First of all, he has told that the intro was very engaging, and he said that it will be an interesting session. So it was. He has written, I was very well aware of Dholavira being a port, but the journey of the debate and narration by you, sir, has raised the suspense level, and it feels like a Tom Cruise movie experience for him. And he, yes, sir. So his question is, I have an off-route query based on marine inferences. I am inclined to believe that Ramayana is actually a biography and not just an epic. How wrong or right am I in this conclusion? His name is Sukhdev ji. He's from Uttar Pradesh, Rajarshi Tandon Open University.
See, today I have not touched which is one of the very our flagship program of Summers Dwarika. Uh, I told you I'm very categorical in admission that Ramayana and Mahabharata are not the mythology or only the epics. It's a narration of the history. Okay, whatever mentioned now, see, there was a time and there was a fashion. Where is Ayodhya? That Ayodhya can be anywhere else in the world, but not at that place. Dwarka can be anywhere else in the world, but not at present Dwarka. Things have gone up to that level that people dare to say that Rama don't exist. Okay, and Ram Setu was an imagination. Now you see here. Now we have uh, a hard fact now presenting it, and now they're converging evidence from different branches. See what Pushkar Bhatnagar and Saroj Bala was doing, they are doing independently. While I was reconstructing the past sea level records, I was doing independently. Now, now when we sat together, we see, oh my God, we support each other. Okay. So we are actually giving a scientific evidence to the so-called belief, the mythology. So no doubt about it. Same is with the Summers Dwarika. It is a history. We have a lot of evidences, and I'm on record on YouTube. Number of my lectures are available where I talked about Summers Dwarika. Okay, and now recently our honorable Prime Minister has gone and given a big boost to us that what we were talking and repeatedly trying to pursue the people. Look, we have the evidence for the Summers Dwarika. Now at least such a high level personality has gone and confirmed our finding. We are very happy. Our hard work has finally paid. So I agree with you that it's a hard fact. I say it is history, it's archaeology. One more thing I will tell you. I don't know whether somebody has put a question or not. I was delivering this lecture on a Vaicharik Kumbh, which was in Ujjain. Okay, and one person got it, and two, three important things he told. Uh, he said, what nonsense you're talking about 9 point, this, yeah, 7.5, 7,000 year back, Rama was time. Ram to लाखों करोड़ों वर्ष पहले हुए थे. So I said, sir, I cannot say you wrong, but my problem is I am a student of science, and लाखों वर्ष पहले तो the man who was living in a modern form was not living. Forget about Rama or Krishna. Okay, so it's not that old. This particularly this time. Second thing, I was repeatedly asked a question. uh, आपने नीलेश वोक का काम देखा है? मैंने कहा हाँ देखा है। बोले आपके क्या कमेंट है? मैंने कहा मैं क्यों कमेंट करूं उस पर? आपने पढ़ा है, आप डिसाइड कीजिए। टुडे आल्सो आई एम टेलिंग यू, डोंट बिलीव मी, रीड ऑल, whatever you feel more convincing, believe in that. So when he insisted, I said, what time you are telling? You tell, you have read, no? I have also read, but I want from your mouth. Bole 11,000 years. If you see the sea level curve, what sea level curve I have presented today, which we have generated, 11,000 year back, sea level was about 60, 70 meter lower than today. So why the hell somebody has to create a bund or a bridge? India and Sri Lanka was already connected. So it cannot be. See, Sarveshwala, Pushkar Bhatnagar came independently. They came to this time, which is very well can be explained with the help of oceanography. Converging evidences are there. Now, it cannot be younger than this also, because sea level was higher than today. So the depth will increase. You cannot create a bund into the sea unless it is very, very shallow water. So this is my answer. You can go to the next question.
Thank you, sir. Sudeep ji from Kerala has written a very interesting and fascinating lecture, sir. And
Thank you.
so, what is the composition of the geological elements that make up the Ramsetu?
See, this then has not, see, I have done only the sea level fluctuation and explained based on that. Actually, Ramsetu High is a natural. Okay. It's not that it was a very deep sea and from where somebody put a pillars and put a bridge. No, this can be true in a imagination, but not in fact. So the natural high is there. Depth was very, very shallow that time. Now it is 10 feet, about 3 meters. But that time it was almost very, very narrow, very, very shallow. What was the composition? GSI has worked on it, Geological Survey of India. They did the sampling recently, and now I'm retired from NI, but now NI has taken up another project. Okay, so NI will come up what is the composition there in future. But if you want to see, but problem is GSI has not published that report. So unless I see the, say, I'm not a download scientist. So what I have not done, I don't touch those things. I
Yes, sir.
always talk, but I have done it.
Absolutely. So, that is very commendable indeed.
Right.
The next question is from Rekha Rao ji. Very interesting talk on sea levels. My question is regarding anchors. Were stone anchors depicted in the picture used for sea sailing also?
Even now, this type of anchor being used by the boats. Okay, we if you come to NIO, we actually our many expeditions for offshore areas. Every team has brought lot of anchors. They recovered from the sea. Okay, even now we lose our anchors into the sea, and we have arranged in one place, which is which is see, this phone has disturbed me. Okay, so this, so there is an anchor park we have created. So anchors from Dholavira, or anchors from Lothal, or anchors from Dwarika, but from wherever we get, we have arranged it, and these are the anchors. You even now see, like if you go to the village, you will see the aeroplane, you will see the train, you will see a jeep, but at the same time you will see a bullock cart also. So though lot of technological development is there, but some places these anchors are still being used.
Thank you, sir. The next question has been asked by Nandan, sir.
Hmm.
Throughout most of the geological time, there were only two primordial continents, Laurasia in the north and Gondwana land in the south. Rajiv ji, what is the oldest record of tsunami disaster available?
See, I will just tell you what. See, there are many people who try to compile the history of tsunamis. And when 2004 or 5 tsunami came, we invited Tad Murthy, a Canadian earth scientist, to Delhi. He has gone out all over the country and delivered the lectures. Okay, and very interestingly, he says in 2005, next year a tsunami may come in Gujarat. Whether any tsunami came, not beyond 2024. No, because his projection, actually, I have a full 1 hour lecture on the paleo tsunami itself. Sometime you give a chance, I will deliver that lecture. The uh, problem is the tsunami is the outcome of the earthquake. And even today, with a lot of precision, we cannot predict the earthquake. So, since we cannot predict the earthquake so precisely, we cannot predict the tsunami. We have installed a tsunami warning station system into the Bay of Bengal, but it gives you hours tsunami warning, not well in advance. In our subcontinent, what we published, it is in 8,200 year back. We have a tsunami record into the Kutch area, the uh, the creek, the
Kori Creek.
near Jokai, Kori Creek area near Jakhau. Actually, that was, you can say, no, a discovery. We were we are doing a survey for Sangi Cement. We are developing a harbor for them. So for Subodh Chaturvedhi's thesis, we collected some core samples. Now in this core sample, we got the inverted sequence, which is sandwiched between the normal. See the sediment getting deposited. Suddenly we get a layer which is which is the inverted sequence, means younger at the bottom, older at the top. Then again the sediment is depositing. So it was a big question that from where this means we were unable to interpret it. Then the tsunami came and we seen on the east coast lot of sediment from beaches were eroded and deposited into the paddy field. From there we got the idea that and the sediments came from the natural deposit at certain depth into the sea. So the first layer which is eroded was younger and deposited at the bottom, then older layer, then oldest layer. So inverted sequence. So inverted sequence became a tool now to find out the past tsunamis. And in my lecture, I gave that the best suited site is the Chilka Lake and Pulicat Lake on the east coast of India, because there mostly it is brackish or fresh water. So in that you will not get foraminifera. But if tsunami is there, it will bring the marine sediment and dump it, and it will go back. So if we have a sediment core in that area, and if a forum, no forum, we can generate a history of past tsunamis. Let us see if somebody take up that project.
Thank you, sir. The
Okay.
next question is by Nidhi. Sir, according to geological study, is Ramsetu man-made or a natural phenomenon?
Both. Both in the sense it is natural high which was man-made to connect India and Sri Lanka. What Lord Ram has done, that was the man-made. But Lord Rama has not made a bridge from the deep sea onwards, as some of the. Another thing I would like to tell from your channel, please don't believe number of videos which was circulated into the market now, which is showing as the how the bridge was constructed. About Dwarika, some of the videos, fake videos, are showing the beautiful temple and the beautiful pillars into the sea at Dwarika. Nothing like that. These are all fake videos. Please don't make your ask somebody who is concerned with it. Hardcore archaeologist or a hardcore geologist. Those who have worked in that area, they will tell you the truth. So Ram Setu was boat. It was natural high over which Rama has made a bund, which is connecting to the Sri Lanka to cross over this army.
Thank you, sir. Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
When we are speaking of marine archaeology, what are the greatest threats to marine archaeological heritage that we now have discovered, and how can we circumvent those threats?
See, the threat in the sense, if sea level go up, not to archaeology, even modern cities will be under question. Okay. But one more thing I want to tell you. Yesterday, I think you only told you recently visited Dholavira.
Dholavira. Yes, sir.
Okay. If you go alone, can you see that where is the thick wall, where is the citadel? Can you find out on your own? Somebody has to tell you. I remember when we were doing the survey, somebody came on a car, a family, and we were either they were looking this side and that side. I said, I heard a lot about it, but I don't know where to start and where to end. Of course, some signs are there. Some Bishop has done a good job. I have not seen in last 4, 5, 6 years. What I am telling, whether it's a Lothal, whether any archaeological site, why can't we do the audio? You put a arrows which side go, you number it. I have seen in estates or other archaeological site, you deposit $10, take a audio, you press it, you are standing at one, press one, and you will get the entire history of that. So when somebody tell you the history, this wall is built to protect themselves from tsunami, only then you will enjoy the site. Otherwise, what you will enjoy there? So this type of actually efforts are required, and this will generate a lot of employment for the tourist guide also. And when you return that
Absolutely.
headphone, you can take away your the deposits. So even with one peon, still you can manage the site. Only will is required and vision is required.
Absolutely, sir. It is indeed a very, very good idea which has to be implemented at the earliest possible. Sir, Rekha ji has asked another question. Was not sea sailing used during Ramayana? Why was building a bridge chosen? The Rig Veda mentions merchants sailing in the sea. So why was
Madam,
Ramsetu built?
if you are taking your army, see, if you are taking few goods to another country is a different ball game. Okay. Now it was a very shallow sea. So you cannot take a big ship where we can take thousands of soldiers. Okay. So it was not possible to take the army through the ship or through the boats. That's why the band has to be created. Recently, I was delivering a lecture at Patna University, and one person asked a very interesting question. He said, "Then how Hanuman was able to jump?" So I said, "Look, don't ask me this the religion-related question to me, okay? Because I don't want to venture into that field. But since you asked the question, I am asking you: have you seen the long jump? Some people can jump just 5 feet, some can jump 10 feet, some can jump even 20 feet, like that. And I am telling you, this area, I think your question actually supporting what I am proposing. That it was a very shallow sea in between, something like a small island types of things are there in between. वो गड्ढे जैसे थे. So it was very, if Hanuman was good in long jump, he could have crossed it by jumping 1 or 2 times and go to Sri Lanka. Everyone cannot jump that much way. So he looks very satisfied. And I was feeling, my God, in public lecture, what type of question comes? But it's a very interesting questions and I enjoy doing it. See, no question is a wrong question. Its answer can be only good or bad. No question is a bad question.
Absolutely, sir. Sir Manuel Joseph sir has asked, at Dholavira in the section of Citadel, I had seen a slightly greenish patch a few meters wide having a depressed central region. Could this be either camosite or glauconite brought up by tsunami?
Maybe I'm not aware and I have not studied. Okay. And I don't want to go for a guesswork.
Thank you,
If
sir.
you have noticed it, uh, Ask Nandan Shastri ji. He is a well-known geologist. Take the sample or take him to the cell, and he will see. Uh, Probably I may not be a good scientist for that because last for 50 years I am doing the marine science. So I'm not visiting the geological sites on land. So those who are actually, there are many good scientists in Gujarat. Okay, those who are retired and those who are active. Chamal is there, Maurya is there in Baroda, and then the
Mm.
Shastri is there. Ask this question to them. But one thing I am very sure, I am prepared to argue or put forward my view regarding the tsunami. And we have not only talking, we have published. Okay, what I am talking is a open literature. It is published, and now 16, 4 and 4, roughly 8 years have passed. Till today, I didn't get a single adverse comment, either in writing or during any of my presentation. So now this confirms that we must be very proud of it. It is tsunami, it is tsunami protection, and this is the world's oldest evidence. Japan is making in the last decade, we did it 6,000 years back. That is the thing. Actually, this type of thing, when you tell to our people, and if they are convinced only, then they can tell to the rest of the world, and more foreign tourists will come to see. Is it India have such a record? Oldest dockyard they have it, oldest tsunami protection. Let us go and see it. Okay, this is what I want to do, and this is what I am doing it.
Absolutely, sir. Sir Mayur Parekh ji has asked a question.
Yeah.
So we heard about Ram Patthar installed in sea to create Ram Setu. One such Patthar is also available in Rokadiya Hanuman Temple at Porbandar. Is that true?
This is called pumice stone. Okay,
Yes.
Nana Shastri is also knowing it. This is a pumice stone. Say, pumice stone property is it can float into the water for a long time, unless goes water and get the other material and debris, then only it may sink. See, when Rama's army was filling up the gaps to cross over to India, whatever was available, they dumped there. Even a Gilehri has been credited, okay, the squirrel, that it is bringing it was going into the soil and bringing the dust and dumping it here. Some of the stone must be a pumice stone, but it is not. I don't believe in that. That all pumice stone based on that a floating bridge has been prepared to cross over Sri Lanka. To me, it look a very fanciful thinking, without any evidence. This stone is available. Every geologist, any geologist you ask, they say pumice stone. Yes, there is a stone like this, but this stone has not been used to create a floating platform to cross over to Sri Lanka. Let us be very clear in it.
Thank you, sir. Abhilasha ji, I'm taking up the last question. Abhilasha Mishra ji, PhD scholar from Deccan College, Pune. She has said, looking forward for your guidance for Dholavira and Dwarka project, which is my aspiration for the future. And also asked, I want to know the possibility of future work that can be done in Dwarka and what specialization would be required for that.
Very first thing I will tell you, there is a terrible shortage of manpower in marine archaeology. It's a very pathetic condition. I'm on record telling you, it's in a very pathetic condition. In NIOS, the say Archaeological Survey of India say, but it is only the Dr. Alok Tripathi is the only one who is claiming to be a marine archaeologist. No one else. In NIO, we had a full-fledged division which is dwindling. People are retiring one after the new appointment has been made. I don't know why. So what we have done, we started a program in collaboration with the Deccan College. Okay, I think for last 7, 8 years, maybe 10 years back, me and Basan Shinde Saab, tomorrow he will come. You can ask him. Thanks to Shinde Saab, me and Shinde Saab came together and we started a program in marine archaeology. Okay, so many of the theory classes, we were going to the Pune and delivering lectures to them. It started as a certificate course, then which we converted into a diploma course. And for practical GPR forums and all those things, we are bringing them to Goa for their field work. We were taking it to the field and showing that how we are telling something is buried below. Now, this type of course should be there, and people like you people can create an environment. We have a 7,000-kilometer long coastline, and I believe that there has to be a contemporary ports of Dholavira, Lothal. Everything cannot be only into the Gujarat. Okay, what about 7,000 kilometer? Because Gujarat somehow Lothal was discovered, and to do incremental research. This incremental research is the easiest thing. You go near Lothal, you will get another village, and your job is over. But going to a new area, unknown area into the forest and searching, it's a very difficult job. So we need more manpower. Like Gopika Patnam, nobody was knowing this is a port. There was no evidence, rather, we can say. Now, scientifically, we are proving it is a port. Okay. So, those who are interested, they can join that program. And all state governments, archaeology department on the coastal states, they should start appointing a marine archaeologist. With the and the best is somebody should know a little geology and a little archaeology. They will be the best people to do this type of research, and a lot more need to be done in Dwarka. She's asking. You just see the last video. It is available on YouTube on the Unbound India. Okay, Vinod Kashyap is the person who is making these videos. I am there. In that video, only we two people are there. It is half an hour of 40 minutes video. The diver who has taken Modi ji to the sea in Dwarka down. Okay, and the one me who was explaining with confidence, yes, Dwarka is there. Now the diver, uh, he is tell his name is Kiran Begad or something like that. He said he has a big patches, which our team also has not seen, and that can be a future work. What we have done is, I can tell you, it's a tip of the iceberg.
Mhm.
Okay, uh, more need to be done after NIOT's work. See, people are much worried about criticism. If somebody criticizes, don't do that work. Go and do something easy. I don't believe in that. And I will tell you, those who want to do, I'm giving you a tips. Go to Mahabalipuram. Have you people visited Mahabalipuram? Mahabalipuram,
No, sir.
we now north of Mahabalipuram is Selvakuppam, an ancient temple which was accidentally discovered because of tsunami. Tsunami has eroded the top sand cover. So they saw something, they started digging, they found a temple. We did survey in offshore area, exactly the same depth of Dwarka, submerged Dwarka, we are getting structures there. Okay, now south of present temple, we did a GPR survey and we got evidence of buried structures. Now, the Mahabalipuram can be big attraction and big center for future marine archaeology. You have to dig south, where today you can go and buy the shell ornaments. Dig below that, you may find another temple. You go to offshore area, it means it was a big temple town, port town. What we have, it is you can say renovated temple which is made up of Nandan Shastri ji will agree, is a charnokite,
Mhm.
which is a erosion susceptible rock. But the older temple and offshore temple was built up of the laterite, which is a very resistive rock, much suited for offshore structure or closer to the sea. But nothing has been done. So I'm telling you, there is a big scope for future archaeologists. Marine archaeology, what we have done is a very small thing. It looks that we have done a lot, but I know it, we have done very small, a very big field is there. I welcome all youngsters. Our time is over now. So more youngsters should come forward and We can pass on the ideas, but now someone else has to dig it.
And Rajivji, that reminds me, during,
Yeah.
during 2004, the tsunami which originated from Indonesia, when the waves swept away an idol of Hanuman from Sri Lanka to the coast of South Africa. It was an amazing true story, and thereafter South Africa returned that idol to Sri Lanka government. It is a very well-known incident of tsunami.
Okay. No, this is before this last tsunami came. How many of us in India were knowing there is something like tsunami? And hardly any work, even geology, there was hardly any work. Few small papers here and there. That's all. Somebody getting a type of coastal rocks which is indicating the evidence of tsunami. From our institute, there is a group which will work as tsunami signature in Konkan coast also. Okay, but the best well-published paper, which I say, is a geomarine letter by me and Subodh Chaturvedi. Subodh Chaturvedi very categorically we interpreted the tsunami signature, which is 8,000 years back. And now in that every paper and every our thesis, we last chapter always tell what lies ahead. Okay, so the study should not end with us. Okay, pass on the idea. If you can't do it, see, as long as you are in active service, I can understand the secrecy because you want to take a credit of that. But when you can't do it, let us not take your idea to your grave. Okay, it's openly pass on to the others. Some good person will remember you one day. Okay, in such and such lecture, I heard and now I pursued it, and now I am credited with the new discoveries. I am telling you that Dholavira, now it is in sir in your state. Promote some people to work more GPR studies within the citadel area. And I will tell you, by having an instrument, you cannot be a good scientist. You should learn how to interpret these geophysical records. I remember some surveys were done in Dholavira, and then when I proposed this area, my own colleagues were telling, why you want to do it? It's already been done. I said, show me the report. नहीं रिपोर्ट तो नहीं है लेकिन कुछ मिला नहीं है तो ना कुछ मिला नहीं है ये तो बड़ी अजीब सी चीज है मैं एक बार फिर ट्राई करता हूँ लेकिन मुझे तो मिला because I didn't try to become a geophysicist myself. What I did, I searched for a good person who was expert in the uh, interpreting GPR record. So always I do like this, that I develop an idea, then I look for the shop for the people who can do better than me. Bring all such people, build a team, and then do this job. So this tsunami thing is not only my interpretation. I give credit to all my entire team, the archaeology department team who took me there and who helped me to get permissions like Gaur, Sundaresh, Chilat okay, and then Rajiv Saraswat, uh, Lawson, and this Foraminifera, it's been meticulously processed and picked by Dr. Rupal Dubey. Actually, she is the one who has opened this floodgate that we are talking about tsunami. Yesterday, when I asked a very pointed question, I asked actually the height of the wall of Citadel. But Honorable Bishop talk about tsunami. He said, no, I don't want to be author. I said, okay, you are free not to be author. But tell if, but I told that I am presenting the fact to you. Find out a fault with it. So that if your fault is convincing, I will see that I have to reinterpret. I'm never shy of failure. Okay, today I feel this is the one I'm telling to you. You say that you are wrong, I don't mind it. But don't tell me I don't believe in it. Okay, many people say, I said, what I have to do with your belief? You say that you have evidence or you have an idea. that this theory have this problem. I will agree with that, and I will rethink over it. But many people I have seen, they don't give any reason. Simply they will say, no, 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 I don't believe in it. I said, okay, you don't believe. Who is asking you to believe? Any more question?
No, sir. Those were all the questions. And indeed, sir, this stand of yours is very inspiring, and it encourages us to keep pushing with what we have, what thesis we have formulated, and how we have to work towards either proving it or disproving it. But that we have to be relentless in our work. So, thank you very much for teaching us that, along with the various interesting facts.
Thank you.
Uh, Yes, sir. I'll just read out a few comments which were there, congratulating you. Dr. VP Mishra sir from GSI had joined us. He has written very interesting lecture with geological input for Indian archaeological sites, and sir has congratulated you.
Thank you.
Also, Professor Usha Devi ma'am from Bangalore University had joined us today, and Abhilasha ji has also written. Thank you so much, sir, for your ideas. That every time is so much enlightening. With this, we have come to the end of today's lecture, sir. And I now request our founder vice president of the history enthusiasts, Ms. Nidhi Katti, to propose the vote of thanks.
First of all, sir, it was really a wonderful lecture. And thank you so much for your precious time for the History Enthusiast platform. And shortly in future, we hope to have many lectures from you in the platform of History Enthusiasts. So thank you so much for giving this lecture. And I also thank our honorary president, Sri Nandan Shastri ji, and founder president, Ms. Manali Momaya, and also all the audience who were active throughout the session, and particularly to the audience who have posted very interesting questions. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. We will come up with a new lecture tomorrow. Tomorrow is the birth anniversary of history enthusiasts, so please join us tomorrow also for a new lecture. Thank you so much. Shubharatri.
I
Uh,
have one request.
yes,
This link, if you can send us all your speakers a little earlier, so that they can also circulate to a bigger audience. Because when
yes,
you send a link too late, one few hours before, okay, that is no time to circulate it. So to increase your audience, see, you are taking a lot of efforts. So the fruit of your efforts should reach to the wider audience. And for that, please plan well. When you made this poster, if possible, create a link there, or at least send at least 4 or 5 days in advance, so that more people can join. Because when I sent poster to a few people, everyone was calling me, sir, no link given in this poster. How I can? I said, wait, when they will send it. But when I got it, there was hardly any time left to send to them. And then you forget that who asked for the link.
yes, sir.
Okay,
We
so
will keep
please,
it in mind,
I
sir.
enjoyed it. Thank you, Nandan Saab, for inviting me. And Manali and Nidhi both, I enjoyed it. Thank you for your efforts. Well,
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We will keep it
Thank
in
you, sir.
mind, sir.
thank you. Nice.
Yes. So tomorrow's lecture number 9, will be by Dr. Gopal Joge. It will be on brief historical survey of studies in Indian temple architecture from 1800 to 1950. So it is a very interesting topic. I request all the participants to show the same enthusiasm, and to join us in the celebration of the birth anniversary of our association, which we have built along with the support of you all. Signing off here. Good night.